Morning, and here's what's on my mind today. So I've been thinking a lot about governance, national loyalty, and what it actually means to preserve America's value, America's culture. And here's my take, and yes, it's probably going to upset some of you. I don't think anybody who wasn't born here should be able to hold any type of governing office. Not Congress, not state legislators, not even local positions like a school board administrator. Because government at any level is not just administrative. It's cultural stewardship, and it's shaping the identity and direction of the nation. If you were not raised in the culture you're governing, you may not fully understand it. You may not fully align with it, and you might not have that generational loyalty that should be required to protect it. Other countries do this, and it's normal. But in America, somehow it's controversial to say that the leaders of the country should be rooted in the nation and its prosperity.
I agree 100%. You know, people like Ilhan Omar should not be holding public office here in America. She wasn't born in America. I think it's crazy that we allow people who weren't even born here to be holding, especially in important offices like in DC, statewide, maybe people would have an argument, but I don't even like that idea. But DC, I think that's a little crazy. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree. But I've come across a couple of clips that I want to share with you all. In this first one, hey, let me tell you something. She's absolutely chefing it up. Hand her the apron, ladies and gentlemen. Hand this woman an apron, because she cooking. With that being said, let's dive in.
Where's the outrage for the Americans? Where's the outrage for our American children? Here we have ICE on the street doing their federally obligated duty, and you see Marie in the back talking about, oh my God, why are you racist? Why are you taking him? You take him as a family. Fuck your family. What about my family? What about my family? You came in here in droves. You walked in my house and tried to rearrange it. I'm supposed to adapt to you? Absolutely not. My daughter got in the car yesterday and said, Mom, I was able to breathe in the corridors at school. My children didn't even get to experience the type of high school that I had, where we had 2 15-minute breaks and a 55-minute lunch, and we were able to go off campus. Theirs is 20 minutes because they have an influx of students they're trying to feed. Get them in, get them out, quick. I dropped off my son in the drop-off line today, and it was 8 cars as opposed to 85. You know how much stress that is for these children, all these people? Get out! And I remember last year, my son was a senior. He said, Mom, in math class, we couldn't even learn math because the teachers would spend half of the period trying to teach Edgar how to say hello. When you have such an influx of people coming into one country, there's going to be hiccups. So yeah, ICE might pick up illegal by accident. You better carry your papers. Thank the Democrats for keeping the border open. Thank you for these legals who try to come in here and do this the shiesty way. That's what happens when you do the wrong way. I have no sympathy or empathy for you. Not at all. If it was that easy to become a U.S. citizen, everybody would do it, but it's not. Welcome to life.
Is she wrong? Let me know. I happen to believe that she is not wrong. And on the point of her talking about, her kids' classrooms, I want to play this clip of this K-5 school teacher in Charlotte, North Carolina, and take a listen to what she is saying in this video. Check it out.
I'm a teacher, and the school that I teach at, an art teacher, is 70% Hispanic. So with me being the art teacher, I see children K-5. Do you know how difficult it was for me to continue to hear these babies being scared of ICE? There's a lot of bots and a lot of people in comments. I don't even read the comments because they're so loud in the comment section, but I don't hear none of that outside. I'm just going to believe it's bots. But it's sad when the babies are affected by all of this drama. And a lot of them didn't come to school today. The older ones told me stories about their family members and so forth and so on. Even conversations of people born in the States. They're confused, or they're scared they're going to be confused and be just detained, because that's never good. You see how they're treating these people? They're detaining them and treat them like animals.
Oh, when somebody gets detained and then once they figure out that they're actually a legal citizen, they're let free. Oh, when what an inconvenience. As if regular American citizens haven't been detained by the police as well before, right? Police officers looking for somebody. Hey, you match the description. We're going to detain you for a short period of time until we figure this thing out. Oh, when? What do you want me? What, you want some tears or something? You want cookie? Like, my goodness. So this post says, she says her school is 70% Hispanic, and because of ICE, almost all of them don't show up. So if almost all of them don't show up, then that means there are a lot of illegals who are attending her school. And that is a major problem. If your school is basically empty now, what that tells me is that we have a lot more illegals in this country than what we've been led on to believe. And that young lady in that second clip that I showed you was 100% correct in being angry that her children are getting a worse education because of how crowded the schools are, because of all of the illegals that have been allowed in this country. She was right in being angry about that. 100%. 100%. This has gotten completely out of hand, and it is absolutely ridiculous. And as far as the kids being afraid, that's the parents' fault. That is these liberals' fault who wanted to fearmonger, right? Because let's call it what it is, who wanted to fearmonger these folks into believing that anybody and everybody that even remotely looks Hispanic is going to be deported. It's their fault. It's not our fault. ICE isn't deporting American citizens. They're simply deporting illegals. Exactly what Trump said was going to happen. And she thinks there's a bunch of bots in her comments. Well, I don't think those are bots, because last time I checked, Trump did win. And we all agreed, everybody that voted for Trump agreed that the illegals were getting deported. Just saying. So I don't think those folks are bots. Just an FYI. But let's carry on.
So this is why I am against illegal immigration. It has nothing to do with the fact that it is obviously illegal, but it is because it is not fair. Illegal immigration, in my opinion, is like somebody cutting in line in front of somebody else. You have other people who are going through the process the right way. It is unfair, in my opinion, and selfish for somebody else to come across the border and expect to be made an American citizen in front of somebody else who's doing it the right way. I don't care what excuse you give, but it is not okay, in my opinion, to do that. That's why I am against illegal immigration. It has nothing to do with the fact that it is obviously illegal. It has to do with the fact that I think people who do this are selfish. Because I have seen some arguments in defense of this. Some of them are so ridiculous, like nobody is illegal on stolen land. Somebody else even said, why do you deserve to be in America and I don't? I'll tell you why I deserve to be in America and you don't, because I was born in America. My parents, grandparents, all the different generations in my family were born in America going back 200 years. That's why I deserve to be an American citizen and you do not. In terms of illegal immigration, it is not fair for you to come across the border and cut in line in front of somebody else who's doing it the right way. I don't care how nice you are, how well-intentioned you are, how hardworking you are. If you do something like that, that is nothing but selfishness. It does not matter to me if you do not have the means to come to America the right way. That is your problem. That is not something that the United States of America is forced to rectify. The United States of America is only obligated to take care of its legal citizens, not the citizens all over the world who are so distressed living in their own countries. If you have a problem with your own country, that's something that you need to work out with your own country. That is not a reason to walk across the border and come to the United States of America. So this is why I am...
Listen. Hand her the apron, ladies and gentlemen. Hand her the apron, because she cooked too. She absolutely cooked too. I agree 100%. As a matter of fact, I would want to take this a bit further, and Chip Roy actually is introduced legislation to do just that. Check it out.
Or HB 5 or something that we're talking about. You want to put a pause on all immigration? Am I reading this right?
Yeah, so the legislation that I filed today with a significant number of co-sponsors in the House would pause, yes, and that's the name of the bill, the acronym is PAUSE, P-A-U-S-E. It would pause immigration with the exception of short-term tourist visas, so people can still come visit the country, while we fix the broken legal immigration system, as well as some of the magnets for illegal immigration. So, for example, you mentioned H-1Bs. We need to overhaul or change or get rid of that entire program. We need to fix it. It is badly broken. The diversity visas and chain migration that have been badly abused, particularly by people who are adherent to Sharia law, who want to Islamify our country, who've been bringing over cousins and sisters and brothers and abusing diversity visas and chain migration, that needs to be ended, just entirely ended. But also the magnets for illegal immigration, things like birthright citizenship, which the president rightfully issued an executive order to correct. We need permanent change to say that you're only a citizen of a citizen parent, not just because you happen to cross the Rio Grande for 5 minutes. And then finally, one issue that doesn't get enough scrutiny is Plyler v. Doe, the Texas case that said that we must educate illegal alien children. It's a 1982 or 3 case. It's 40 years old. We need to change that. We need to challenge that law. We need Congress to step in and fix it, because that's another magnet in addition to the health care benefits and other issues, which, by the way,
shout out to Chip Roy, because I agree with all of that 100%. Why are we required to educate illegal children? Do I feel bad for kids? Absolutely. I always have a heart for children, but they're not our responsibility. Our own children are our responsibility, not illegals' kids. And birthright citizenship, that doesn't even make any sense. Somebody just gets to hop over the border, have their kid, and all of a sudden their kid is a citizen? Like, that is crazy. That is crazy. It doesn't even make any sense. As a matter of fact, I think the Supreme Court is taking a look at that, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I do believe the Supreme Court that's on the docket for them to take a look at. So hopefully that is overturned, because that is crazy. Birthright citizenship. You just get to come here and have a kid, and now that kid has to... Nah, bro. That is absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. But as always, y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Are you in agreement with Chip Roy in pausing all immigration? Listen, if I was in Congress, that's something that I would vote yes on. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's pause all immigration. Obviously, illegal immigration, we already hit the brakes. We already slammed the brakes on that. But we're going to slam the brakes on legal immigration as well until we can sort this whole thing out. H-1B visas, I don't think we should get rid of them, but they should be overhauled completely overhauled. And we need to change that whole thing, because companies are taking advantage of it and bringing over way too many people that aren't necessarily the best and the brightest. So yeah, that needs to be overhauled. Birthright citizenship, the whole nine, top to bottom. But like I said, let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button too. All right. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.